Good morning, everyone. It's July 28, 2023, 9:29 in the morning, 20 seconds before the market opens, and I'm just here finishing up my watch list. So for today, we have a lot of gap up list. I'm looking at Roku. Roku is a gap of 10%. And so with Roku, let's look at okay, just looking at the pre-market for Roku. Roku had a good gap right here. Pre-market high is at 77.37, low is at 73.57. And then we have XPEV. XPEV have been running for a while. This one is a third day play. Let's look at INTC. INTC I like just because it has a nice gap with the daily chart. So I'll be watching INTC closely here. PLTR is just consolidating, looking at the daily inside bar. BABA about to break out here. So pre-market low, pre-market high. So market just opened. I am not planning any opening range breakout today just because it's a Friday and since SPY is an inside bar. NEO about to break out here as well, just like what XPEV. SIGA is float of 40 million, so not a low float but a nice gap up here. So pre-market high, pre-market low. We do have some consolidation here, so I'll put a level right here. So that's SIGA. The only gap down is ENPH. ENPH is 133 million, so not a low float. This is the only gap down stock that I am watching. Pre-market high is at 150.57. Okay, so that's ENPH. What is AMD doing? AMD is an inside bar. Meta had a huge gap fill yesterday. Tesla consolidating inside bar. Microsoft inside bar. Nothing really going on there. AI inside bar. Rivian is an inside bar as well. So let's look at Roku consolidating here, about to break that high of the pre-market. XPEV. XPEV is the 3-day play. Pre-market high, pre-market low here. So very tight move there by XPEV. But if you are a swing trader for XPEV, then yeah, this could have been a good move. INTC just broke the low of the pre-market, so we're doing a gap fill here. PLTR just putting a level here, pre-market low, pre-market high. Wow, so PLTR just formed an opening range breakup. PLTR looking very strong here. CBNA is an inside bar. BABA just consolidating. NEO, let's just put a level here. Pre-market low, pre-market high. So the thing that's not so exciting for me is looking at the SPY, and SPY is an inside bar. SIGA is now in between our levels here. Had a huge rejection here by ENPH. ENPH, this one could be a good short because we had a big rejection there at the pre-market high, 150.57. But the best move here is if it opened close to pre-market low. Now it is actually testing the pre-market high here. Okay, so Roku just broke the high of the pre-market. Too early for a reversal here, so this can still be a continuation play. SPY, of course, is just playing around the VWAP, so just flat. XPEV, I wouldn't be surprised if XPEV have a little bit of a gap fill here. INTC had a nice gap fill, broke that level that we have, 36.3. Roku is very strong. What I don't like about Roku is even if it's really strong, the 5 minutes here is very overextended. It already moved from 74 to 77. We are having that resistance at the VWAP here. You see this volume price analysis, yeah, we are heading lower here. So ENPH I will be shorting ENPH here, just because when we are pushing, our volume here is dying. So I went short. We do have 146.50 right here. I will have a tight stop loss here. I only have 400 shares. 149. So tight stop loss here, in case this one stopped me out with a small position. This is the XPEV, the pullback that I was expecting. So just still consolidating. So yeah, see if this is gonna stop me out here. Okay, so I'm out of ENPH. We'll re-enter ENPH later. This one is still not done heading higher. So ENPH testing the high of the day now, 151.67. Volume did pick up here. We have a fake out that happened in this VWAP. Baba pull back here together with the SPY. Now we are testing the high of the day, 151, 152. Big volume here, 152. So this is gonna spike to 152. Volume started to, so it did went to 150 all the way to 153 almost. Do we see any signs of weakness here at this point? Let's see. Volume did pick up. We form a new high, 153.37. Still looking very strong. $152 here. What time? When was the last time it was in that area? 2022 of May. So we have the first candlestick there, which is now we're testing the 9 EMA. I think it's a support here. We do have big volume sitting right here, 53.50. Re-entered short ENPH. Tight stop lost here. 153.53. SPY just broke VWAP. Added to my position in ENPH. Since I added to my position, just gonna update my stop loss here. This is struggling, 153.55. $149 is building up here, 150. Yeah, expect some consolidation to happen here because we are close to the VWAP. Let's see if there's any easier trade. $150. At least now bid is starting to stock up here, but yeah, I did have a loss at the open there. BABA is just consolidating at the VWAP. Added to my position here. About to lose the VWAP, and that's the reason why I added there. Updating my stop loss. Moving my stop loss now. Expect some big support there, that VWAP, but once we lose the VWAP, big support at 148.82. You need to see some stocks of bid lining up here to have some confirmation with this trade. I like that the volume is starting to pick up though. SPY is losing it too. So this one is working, but took some partial just to protect profit. Lowering down my risk here. Okay. We have big volume here as well. Testing 147.57. Support there, 9 EMA, 147.62. That's why we're struggling to lose that, because we do have a couple of support, 147.89. I like that we have stack of volume 147.20 here. Now we have bids starting to stack. Took some partial again, moving my stop loss lower than my break even. Need this one, just waiting for this to lose 147.50s. Okay, it's the move that I was waiting for. Moving my stop loss just to protect profit here. So now we have a bunch of orders sitting here, 146, but looks like this is gonna stop me out. Just waiting for my orders to get filled. Okay, so out of ENPH, was able to capture that little bit of a move, but this one was initial loss here, but yeah, took some profit there. Roku now, Roku is still strong. Big order sitting here, could be a potential here. It's just too early for a short. So too early for a short with Roku. Very strong at the 5 minutes. So yeah, no time for reversal here for Roku. XFAB. I like that XFAB we have big volume sitting here when we're pushing down, as well as look at this stopping tails that's forming. We do have big orders here, 22.15. So this one can still be consolidating at the VWAP. ENPH could have been a good short once we are closer to this price, but right now this can go either way. So the easy trade in ENPH is done for now. Volume is dying here if you see this volume bar. So this can be a potential short. We are still struggling at that level, 21.82. Big order sitting at 22, so it will test 22 first. We're heading there, 21.99. 21. Expect a big move at 22. This orders is going to be filled. Yep, there you go. A bunch of 22 orders got filled. A little bit of a spike there. Next destination, 22.15. SPY as well is moving higher. So let's see what PLTR is doing. PLTR, big wick right here. It's almost just flat though. Flat just looking at the VWAP. This one had a good rejection in VWAP. So did we get filled? 22.15. Volume started to pick up. High of the day is 22.18. Potential to retest that high of the day. Although this is very wicky, lots of wick at the top, but we're still heading higher high, higher low. This one could be a good short if it goes below 21.94. Because of that's the body of this candlestick, and stop loss at 22.19. So target price is 21.94. 21.94. Do we have any support in the bid ask? So hands is on the trigger. 21.94. It still is 95. Maybe. Okay, entered short at XPEV. We are at the VWAP at the 1 minute. Added to my position just because this is just a little move of 21.48 to 22, so less than $1 move. So I needed to build up a position there. Stop loss here is, let's see, before I put my stop loss, I wanted to see whether I can put or add to my position. Added to my position. 22.20 or 22.2 will be my stop loss. 22.2. Okay. So next one. This is the first red candlestick here. Just gonna remove my pre-market here. We are just heading to the VWAP. Expect some support there. Bunch of orders sitting here, almost balanced. So expect some consolidation there. So the flag, or the one that caught my attention here, is this big volume bar when it's pushing down and those big wick at the top. XPEV have been very strong for the previous days. So those who were swinging can also just be thinking of some profit taking. So now we have lost VWAP, and this one have been working nicely. Okay, so I started partialing. Now what I'll do is lower my stop loss lower than my break even, so I protect my profit here. Took some partial as well. So now just lowering my stop loss. So for this one, I'll just let it, I'll give it some time just because that was a big move for that candlestick, and expect some consolidation there. So what I'll do is just going to be trailing my stop. So thought process, it has a potential to go to 21.31, but we have a long way to go there. So even if it consolidate, if this one stopped me out, then it still is a green trade here. But now we are heading lower than the moving average, so very nice trade here just because we were able to catch it at the momentum. And again, the signal here was this big volume bar and that wick that correlates with that. So that means all the bulls tried to push it, but the sellers went in, and that's the reason why we created, or the candlestick created, that wick. So looking at if there's any easier trade, Yeah, this is no imbalance here, so expect some consolidation. Our support now is at 21.63, waiting for that support to be broken. And yeah, I think, let's see, 21.61. I was trying to took some partial, but was not able to at 21.62. So let's see, 21.7. So I'm just gonna trail my stop here. But if you look at the 5 minutes is very bearish here. Now we have 21.71 acting as a good resistance there. So 21.71, we do have some orders at 21.71. So wait for that orders to get filled before we at least test again the support, which is at 21.62. I was still, okay, big order sitting here. Okay. Looking for an easier trade. Testing this ceiling here, 21.71. Lowering down my stop loss here. I don't like that this ceiling here was tested twice, 21.71. Order sitting here, 21. Not a lot of volume though when it's pushing up, so the momentum for this to go up is not there. 21.61. So yeah, it's gonna test now. After it moved to that 21.71 because there was a big order, now we are gonna be testing that support again, 21.62. And this is, once we broke that support of 21.62, then we are gonna be testing the low of the day, which is 21.46. So for today, XFEB is up by 7.1%. So very strong move by XFEB. But imagine, look at the daily. Daily had been raging higher high, higher low for the last couple of days. They have a good news, and those who swing this one had made a chunk of money here. 14.42 all the way to 22 for a couple of days. There you go. We just broke the support. So took some partial again. Lowering down my stop loss here, lower than, now we created this strong resistance that's ceiling. So now I am moving my stop loss to that ceiling. We have big orders 21.40 here, so we are heading, 21.40 is our next destination. 21.45 is the low of the day. So look at the stack of orders sitting at the bid here. So we are now have more stack of orders at the bid, so very bearish. So the momentum here is with the sellers or the bears. Next destination 21.49, big order sitting there. Expect some consolidation though. It's just not gonna go there that quick, but expect some consolidation. So very 49. So let's see, this is the first red candlestick, 5 minutes in Roku. Big order sitting here, or that was a big chunk of volume that came in here, but that could have been just profit takers because it went from 74 all the way to 82. So that's a big move. 80.45. So with Roku, thought processes, this can be a short. The only thing though is, since Roku is very strong, okay, so XFEB stopped me out, but yeah, profit of 575 there. So what happened with XFEB is it tested the 90 MA. I won't be surprised if it retests VWAP and then have a VWAP rejection here. So Roku, this is the first red candlestick. Do we have enough? Let's see, 80.68 is the good short here if it goes below 80.62. 80.62 is the one that I'm waiting for at the tape. 80.62, 77. Volume here is not picking up though when we're pushing down. So that's the thing, that's 80.62, not a lot of volume, so not an A+ setup here. 80. So hands is on the trigger for this. I haven't seen 80.62 as well here yet. We are at the VWAP. So yeah, that was a fake out. So that's how you are able to manage your trade you already have in mind what is your entry. And of course, the stop loss here is the high of the day. So entry is at 80.65 if that 80.65 got printed in the tape, which it did not. So that would be risking 40 cents. So the reason why it's not an A plus setup is the volume here is not there. There's no volume to support it when it's pushing down. So this one can still break that 80.62, but it's not an A plus setup because the volume is not supported. Given that the volume is not there, this is not a good play for a short. So let's see, XFAB now is getting very interesting because now we are going and about to test the high of the day, 22.19. So thought process is 22.19. Let's see what it will do at 22.19. Will it break the high of that the day? Once it touches that 22.19, that is gonna be a double top. So even before those candlestick form, you already have in mind what it is trying to form. So if this is the first top at that level, 22.19, that will be the second top, right? So you just save yourself from getting chopped by trying to predict what this candlestick will do and is it a good setup to do. You see here 22.07, we already have a rejection there. We already have that wick right there. If you only look at the 1 minute, the 1 minute is looking bearish, but look at the 5 minutes. 5 minutes, it's still not done forming this white candlestick, which is still bullish. It tested the high of the body of this candlestick, which was the rejection point, 22.07. So that prevents you from having a fake out as well. If you look at only the 1 minute and you shorted it here, not looking at the 5 minutes, then that was a fake out. You initially thought that it was a short because of the 1 minute, but if you did not consider the 5 minutes, then right now you could have just got stop out here. So let me remove this one. Now this is the level that we are focused on, which is that 22.19. First touch of that. That's the high of the day. 22.19 will be forming a double top. So 22.19. Now, once I have that level, so for me to see, I'm just going to put a line there. So 22.17 to be exact is that high. Now, do we have anything that supports that? Any anomaly with the volume bar? Anything that's going to give us a clue in the bid and the ask? This one can just consolidate as well. SPY is moving very, not a lot of movements with SPY. It's just like a $1 move. Volume 2198 is there. So well, looking at that ENPH, look at ENPH had that VWAP projection, but just like what I called out earlier, this one was the easy trade. Now we're consolidating at the VWAP, so not an easy trade there. And that's why we gave ENPH a break, because you don't want to get chopped there. You're only going to be ending up paying commissions. Okay, so this is our level here. First stop. Did we even have the momentum to test the high of the day? It still can. 22.16. And while we're waiting for this one to consolidate, let's analyze Roku. So Roku prevented us from shorting this one because our initial entry, when we saw this red candlestick, was below the body, which is at 80.63, and it never, or 80.60, and it never touches that. So this one was just profit takers, and then it just still shoot up. Okay. This can, no momentum here to go up. So had a rejection there. Hello everyone, it's July 28, 2023, and I'm here to do a market recap. So it was a very challenging day today. SPY did give us some opportunity for a good trading day, but I personally overtraded. I was up by 1400 at the start of the day. First hour of my trading day, should have turned off my computer and call it a day, but I overtraded, and that's the thing about overtrading. What happened today is I gave back that profit, now just ending with a small profit of 257, but with a commission that would end up just being flat. Also, that's one of the tough day being in the market. If you overtraded, you already have surpassed your target profit for the day and you give it back. That is the worst feeling. So at first I was up with ENPH. I shorted ENPH. I gave it all back because of the overtrading, as well as the XPAV was up at the open, but gave it all back as well because I took a couple of stabs with it. At one point during the trade, it was a long trade for today. It was more than 6 hours. So if you want to check that one out live, at one point I was red as well. Needed to dig myself out of the hole, which I did, but in the expense of wasting a lot of time trading as well as giving back my profit. But lesson learned, and this is the kind of trade that you don't want to do when you are on a live trade. You don't want to do an overtrading. Once you meet your targeted profit and you see that you are not reading the stocks correctly, that's the time to call it a day and turn off your trading station, which is the one that I should have done, but I did overtrade. So let's just do a quick market recap here because the whole trade is in the live trade anyway that you can look into. The thing that I would like to highlight though is that first hour of the trading day was the cleanest trade that I did, but after that first hour, it was just a bunch of trial and error as well as a bunch of choppiness. So I got chopped. I needed to pay for that, and that's why for today is just going to be a flat day. So let's look at what the market gave me today. So with AI, what I did was I long AI. So I started long, added to my position, was able to capture that move. So I was up by 680 with AI. AI was just consolidating, had found the bottom in the moving average. So I took that to the long. So that is the AI trade. And then next one is ENPH. ENPH is the one that gave me a hard time here. At first was a good move right here, bunch of consolidation right here. This is the one that was considered as an overtrade. So I did have to dig myself out of the hole of this one. Still came out green on ENPH, but not the best trade just because of this consolidation right here that I got stuck myself into and wasted a lot of time there. Next one is NEO. NEO is a red trade. This one, I shorted it here, was able to, this one is a stop out, shorted it here again. This move was able to capture and was all out here. Just a small red trade at NEO, which is at 170. And then the next one is PLTR. PLTR, I was up here initially and gave it all back. So was long and stop out, long again, stop out, long, was able to capture that move. This one is bunch of consolidation, was able to do some profit there, but mostly lost. So I got a loss of, to the long, 122 and to the short of 760. So that is the PLTR trade. Next one is Roku. Roku, I did have to dig myself out of the hole of Roku because Roku was just crazy today to the long. If you would have traded Roku to the long side, this could have been the one and done. So it moved from 75 all the way to 89. So that is more than $10, almost $15 move there. What I did was shorted it here, got stop out, short, added to my position, was able to capture that little bit of a move before it spiked out right here. But that little bit of a move right there was just enough for me to break even with the stop out position. So this trade was a loss and was digging myself out of the hole with that second trade. But that took the longest time. So this one is frustrating just because I was trading from 10 all the way to almost 2 here at Roku. That was the Roku trade. And we have the Tesla. Tesla was able to capture this one to the short. So what I saw was this one is stopping. I went short, added to my position, was able to capture that. Short again, was stop out, short again, and was able to capture that little bit of a move. So that little bit of a move gave me a 200 there. So that is the Tesla trade. And then XPEV is a red trade. XBEV is another trade that had gotten me into a red. So what happened here was I was short XBEV. So this one short, 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 and all out right there. XBEV was another kind of an overtrade just because what the market gave us today was SPY broke VWAP, went all the way to 457, have that pullback, and just tested the VWAP again. So SPY basically is almost flat, just up by 0.97, which is not a big thing for SPY. But with the strategy that I was hoping to do was a reversal, but it never looked back. So this is the trend trade that we are talking about. The easy trade there is if you just take a long on this stock, a long right here, you could have gotten long at the VWAP, and that's a good move to the long, unlike doing a reversal, which is the one that really had made me pay the market today. So let's see. Another move there is the Roku is just never looked back after that move, never looked back after this 9 EMA, and even NEO never looked back after. ENPH was a bit challenging just because it's a gap down, but it had that consolidation that made me pay big time with that as well. The AI was not able to capture all the way up to the R3, but was able to capture that reversal at yesterday's closing price, but very tiny move. So not really the cleanest setup today, and that's why it's just a 257. So again, with commission, that would end up with nothing. So I hope you guys have a better trading day than me. I'll call it a day. It's already almost 6 in the evening, and we'll do this again next time. And lesson learned, stick to the rules, don't overtrade. Like what I did today, sometimes, of course, 2020 is always, hindsight is always 2020. And yeah, we learn from that mistake and we move on from that. So with that, we'll do this again next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you do have questions, please feel free to email me. I know we're doing a quick recap just because this is just a bunch of consolidation. And the moral story for today is do not overtrade. So with that, have a great weekend and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.